Hi, I'm Landon Wold, and this is my interview with Jim Hambrick. Jim is the market president for Cornerstone Bank here in town, West Fargo. I just wanted to say thank you, Jim, for doing this interview and taking the time out of your day to meet with me. I went to Cornerstone Bank on my work break. So in the actual interview, you're not gonna see my face. I was hot, sweaty in my work uniform. I just didn't think I wanted that to be part of the interview. Plus, I'm not the focal point of this. Jim is, and what he had to say. So he had a lot of good things. He enjoyed the interview. I enjoyed the interview. Jim is an NDSU alum. He went to school with my uncle and my dad and some other family members that I know. So, longtime family friend. But this is the first time I had met Jim, which is a shocker because he's such a nice guy. I felt like I might have known the man, 5 years. Jim is also part of the board that elects the dean for the College of Business here at NDSU. So, Jim has ties to the College of Business program, and I think that's really neat and cool, and he cares, and he's very, very business minded. So we just hit it off. It was a great time. Some of you might know him, some professors might know him, other people maybe seen him around or networked with him, but he's an awesome guy and a big support of NDSU. So without any further ado, this is the interview with Jim, and thank you for your time. So this interview is relatively informal.
Okay, that's the best kind.
Yep, I know. Don't feel like you're pressured here. Essentially, all I got to do is just get a couple questions and some background information. You can tell me about yourself and your career, and just kind of how you came to the position you're in now.
Sure. So we're starting?
Yep, we are officially going.
So as we were talking about, I went to NDSU, but I'm originally from Carrington, North Dakota. Came to NDSU and got my degrees in accounting and business administration. And my first job out of college was a management trainee for JCPenney. And I was there, which was a great experience, but I knew pretty early on, I don't know that that's what I want to do. So technically I had my business administration degree at that time, and I was really close to having my accounting degree. So I just went back and finished up and got my accounting degree. And almost 35 years ago, I started in banking with Norwest Bank, which ultimately became Wells Fargo.
Really? Okay.
So I was at Norwest Wells Fargo for 20 years, and then I spent 6 years over at Starion Bank in Fargo here, and I've spent the last 9, now the math should work, 35 years, spent the last 9 at Cornerstone Bank. And most of that time frame I've been involved in business banking. Although I spent a little bit of time as an auditor, and my current role is the market president for Fargo, Moorhead, West Fargo, and the surrounding area for Cornerstone Bank here, but based in Fargo.
So you want to tell me a little bit more about what that means as the market president?
Sure. So for this market, I'm responsible for business and retail banking. And so our business bankers are working with small, medium, large businesses, providing all kinds of products, loans, deposit accounts, cash management services. Similarly, on the retail side, working with people like you or I to do home loans and car loans and open up checking accounts and have online banking.
Yep, your standard banking procedure.
And certainly we have a great group of customer service reps, and so that's my responsibility for our market to grow, take care of our clients. Our vision is that we want to be who people turn to when they make important decisions about their money. So that's my role, is to make sure we do that.
Nice.
And we have a great team of people, and I'm really fortunate to be here.
I was going to say, it's a beautiful bank.
Yeah, it is nice.
Building.
It's a very nice building, very nice bank.
I almost didn't think it was a bank when I pulled
Yeah.
I thought it was a hotel.
Yeah, no, it kind of has, it doesn't necessarily look like a bank. And we have some tenants in the building besides the bank, but primarily we're the main tenant.
Yep, that's pretty cool.
Yep.
So, I guess my next question would be, through your career, have you been in a position of leadership and power often, or has that kind of been something that has come more towards the end of your career?
So I've been the market president for 3+ years.
Okay.
And so that, and after 35 years, that's arguably towards the end of the career. There have been roles that I've been in different positions with the bank, supervising business bankers and our cash management team. So I have had leadership experience over the years within banking. I would say the more intense, larger group of people that I'm responsible for would have been the last three plus years.
Oh, okay, wow.
Yeah.
So I guess in the last 3 years, what has probably been your biggest takeaway from that?
Biggest takeaway is your door is always open.
Yeah.
And which is perfect, but there's just a lot of responsibility to be able to help people grow in their positions, take care of issues. I'm accountable for this market, so it's a big responsibility, and I don't take it lightly. But I'm really fortunate again to have an awesome team that are fun to work with, and our company also has 10 values that we live by, and
Company culture, I love it.
Culture trumps all.
Yep.
Totally. And we talk about it a lot. And if we do something new, we talk about the value that's a part of.
Mm-hmm.
So because there's an engagement and embracing of those values, it makes my job much easier.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I'll probably look at these and I'll ask you a few questions
Sure.
about that. We'll start with your terminal values because this
Okay.
is more about what you are as a
Mhm.
person. So I see you ranked health as number one. I mean, that seems like a pretty obvious question as to why you ranked that number
Yeah.
one. But if you wouldn't mind elaborating on that.
And again, a quick look, but I have friends that have some health issues. I have family that have some health issues. I have friends that aren't with us anymore that had health issues. So life's too short. You have to make sure you take care of yourself. And I'm not a picture of health, but
No.
it's important to me that my friends are healthy, my family is healthy, and that I help them in that regard. And I try to look inward and take care of myself as well.
Yeah.
Because someday I want to retire, and I want to be healthy when I'm retired.
You have to actually enjoy retirement,
You got it.
Be able to live your life and
Yeah.
go actually be active.
Yeah.
My dad says the same thing, and
Mm-hmm.
you're not the only person that has told me that.
Yes,
Health is priority number one.
absolutely.
So I'm not surprised by that one.
No, I know you understand.
So then we'll go to the other end of the spectrum. I'll ask you why you ranked freedom as the lowest.
That's it. I'm not sure, other than I take it for granted.
I
So
see.
it doesn't pop up high on my list to say I believe strongly in this country and our values and the strength of the United States of America, and kind of not I take it for granted, but I also believe we will always be a wonderfully free country,
Yeah.
and so it just didn't pop up high on my list. But
No, that's understandable. That is one of those things you don't really think about as an
no,
American.
I don't.
You know?
I mean, I do sometimes when I'm watching the 5:30 news and go, wow, I'm glad I don't live in this country or that country. It's a really great reminder why it's so great to live here.
But I would say more often than not, a lot of people are just like, I don't know, accustomed to it.
Absolutely.
So-
No, you're right.
It's very cool. So then we'll go over to the instrumental values. Number one is responsible, and 2 is loyal, and 3 is independent. Those all kind of fit together.
Yep. When I think about the values of our company again, and we value positivity, we value engagement, we value our customers' time more than our own. We value what people know and what they do with that knowledge. So you put all those into those categories, they just jump off the
Yep.
page at me.
I'm sure they did. They just
Yep.
were like, yep, that's it. Ding, ding, and ding.
Yeah, exactly.
That's awesome. Well, okay, so that's all the required stuff. Now
Okay.
I can just kind of talk to you and just
Yeah.
pick your brain a bit.
Yeah, absolutely. Pick away.
So, when did you graduate from NDSU?
87 with business admin, 88 with accounting, and then I have a minor in economics.
Okay. Have you been in the Fargo-Moorhead area your whole life? pretty
Yeah,
much?
I was thinking about today, and so I grew up, as I mentioned, in Carrington, so 18 years of my life in Carrington, the rest in Fargo.
All here.
So I haven't left here.
Haven't left.
And so 40 years in Fargo.
Yeah. Oh, what do you make of it? Good place to live?
Oh, it's an awesome place to live. I mean, I hate to even say it. Take away last winter and winters that we have every now and then,
Yes.
but the people are great. Fargo, as a business person, Fargo never seems to get too high or too low.
So I've heard.
And it's just steady, everybody's house business. really good.
Yeah.
And you drive around town, you look around town, go south or west, even north. Moorhead's doing a lot of great things. Horace, it's
West Fargo and Horace are almost the same place.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. So it's a great place for business climate. It's safe. Schools are very good. There's one in particular awesome university in town, but there's other good ones too.
Yeah, Roll Herd.
Yeah, and there's also there's more than just sports. There's great arts and music, and we're just really fortunate. And I think for the most part, people get the importance of all of that. If you want to attract more people to this community, you have to offer. You have to offer everything, and I think we do a good job of that.
I think so as well. And over the last couple of years, I've lived downtown, and they've done a lot of work down there. They put the big RDO building and that big plaza.
So, if I may ask you, where do you live downtown?
So we used to live. I just moved recently. I live out in West Fargo.
Okay, so when you did,
But I was downtown. I was living on the corner of 3rd and University. So if you're going down Uni, you go past Family Fair and Fargo Brewing.
Yes.
Boom.
Right.
Chubb's Pub.
Yep.
The big building of the bricks.
Yep.
Woodrow.
So you're in Woodrow?
That's where I lived.
So I like Woodrow a lot. I'll leave it at that. I live kitty corner from Island Park, so my wife and I can walk through Island Park. And
Really?
We'll
My
be
girlfriend was a
downtown.
lifeguard there for many years.
Yep. Now it's all the pool's all torn up.
Yeah, they
because of
drained it,
remodel.
but I guess they needed it according to
it. Yeah, they need to do something. I get that. Yeah.
So what do you like living about them down there?
About downtown? Oh, just downtown. Yeah, and I've in my many years here downtown, there wasn't much going on.
Yeah.
You had Old Broadway, you had Sports Bar, you had Rooters. You didn't have a lot of businesses. You didn't have a lot of residential, and what was residential wasn't nice.
Yeah.
It's transformed so much, as you well know, and there's just a lot to access, and we like to walk. So.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
walking through the park to get to downtown. How cool is that?
Yeah, we used to do that a lot too.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't mind living up there. The only thing I didn't like was the fact that if I could have been on the south side of downtown, on the north side up there was the soup kitchen and Chubb's.
Yeah, no,
and
exactly. Yeah.
I don't know. There's a lot of times people would be out there asking us for money the first thing you walk out in the morning.
Well, we had a lady in our building this week because one of our security doors didn't latch.
Yep.
That wasn't supposed to be there. And she was in distress, and we helped her. We spent about an hour trying to figure out what to do to help her, and so we, felt good that we did the right thing. But that is an element in that area that you just have to be aware of.
Yep, definitely. Well, I'll kind of ask you a few more questions about like some leadership stuff.
Sure.
More on like a personal standpoint.
Yep.
What has been something that you've noticed is challenging about being in a position where people look to you for guidance or consoling or approval?
It's a great question. Lots of things roll around up there. Just how I'm answering the question is probably an answer, which is you got to be decisive. And while you have to take time to listening, we'll start with that. You have to be a good listener. You have to be a good listener, and you have to have an open mind. Even though I don't know that I rate open mind that high, but you have to be decisive and not let something fester, fester or just never get dealt with.
Yeah. And
kick the can down the road. So I would say, good listener, but be decisive, and I think you can be both as a leader. So those are the main things that pop into my head.
Cool. What is something that you have taken away from, either a previous manager that you had or a supervisor that you had that you kind of just like carried with you throughout your career? Like, was there someone that you knew that just like made an impact on you?
Yeah, I've had a lot, and I one of the answers or questions in there that you don't rank is having a mentor, and I think that's a really good one. So I had a mentor early on in my Northwest Bank career, and ultimately he ended up here, and now he's retired. And so one of the reasons I moved to Cornerstone is because he was here after he retired from Wells Fargo. And he was, back to the listening thing, just so smart, so full of common sense. Just watching this person, his name is Pete, listen to an issue, look at an issue, and sort of quickly say, well, why don't we do this? Why didn't I think of that? So just the element of common sense, you don't overthink sometimes. It's probably not as hard of a problem if it's a problem or whatever.
You just take a step back.
Take a breather, do a literal walk around the block, whatever.
And they always say movement helps.
Yeah,
movement helps with like keeping you calm and like getting thoughts through your head.
So that stands out, and the other thing that stands out, whether it's the first question you asked or the second, is you may do something the same way all the time. It appears to be working, but is it really? And so taking that step back again, or just asking the team, how's it, as a team or individually, how's it going? Is this meeting what you want to get out of it? So just challenging yourself with, I know it seems to be working, we've been doing it the same way, but is it still good? Should we be doing it differently?
Yeah, absolutely.
And you can really, and I fall into this trap, it's a trap, I guess. You can real easily just fall into status quo.
Yep. Just whatever the bar is, you meet the bar and you just stay there.
And some things you want to clear, it's all, you have to figure out from a prioritization is also huge, by the way. What do you need to, speaking of the bar, do you need to clear it by this much? Or is this, I hate to say good enough, but this might be good enough if you need to get up here for the other stuff. So you really have to think through, because there's only so much time, right?
Yep, there's only so much time, only so much resources.
So what, and we, as a bank, we've done that from a risk analysis perspective. What do we need to clear bar this much, or what don't we have a choice? We got to be up here.
Yep, like there's certain things like you were saying about priority.
Yes.
It's just kind of the nature of the game.
Absolutely right. Priority is huge. It's tough. You're not always going to know what until hindsight kicks in. What was the priority? But
I think I got maybe like one or two more questions.
Sure.
You talk a lot about your team and how awesome your team is.
Yep.
Is there anything that you could maybe give someone in my position who is, at the very beginning of their career, they're about to get their degree.
Yeah.
And I've been in a couple positions of leadership, but nothing like high up there.
Yeah.
Like what would be some advice I guess you would give to someone in my position?
Again, find a mentor and share with them what your career goals are, and find out from them. You're kind of asking me, but find out from them what they did to get there. I would say the leading thing that stands out for me in my career, why I've had success and why I've been able to attain some different leadership levels, just work really hard. And show the effort, and don't rest on your laurels. The other thing I'd point out, it's also a value. We value our role as neighbors and contributors. Be involved in the community, whether it's a nonprofit, a service club, whatever it might be, because you're just going to have that ability to network. And that, yes, that's a good business thing to do, but it's also a good feel-good thing to do, and it's the right thing to do, and it helps the community you're in to be a better place to live.
It's just morally conscious.
Absolutely.
Essentially, just be a morally conscious person and
always
care about your environment.
Have that compass. Yep, you're right.
Absolutely. So I guess my final question for you would be, what was the most awesome experience in college?
Oh golly, I loved my technically 4 years. When I went back for the 2 quarters back then, that's all it was. The guys were pretty much gone. I lived in Churchill with people that you know well.
Yep.
And the friendships I developed out of that are long lasting. And so it's not a certain experience. Not a certain event experience. It's that those first 2 years at NDSU in Churchill, the people I met, are still just top of list friends for me.
Yeah.
And so just that experience of, and you learn from that. How do you get to know people?
Mm-hmm.
How do you get to figure out what kind of people they are? Which ones do you want to hang with? Which ones you want to be nice to and respectful of, but maybe they're not the best people to run with.
Mm-hmm.
You figure all that stuff out, sometimes the hard way. So that stands out. Obviously, that era, similar to the era you've seen, NDSU football.
Yep.
It's pretty awesome. The 4 years I was there, we won 3 championships.
That's right. Yep. So you were there during that era.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I know what you're talking about.
You understand that fully.
Yeah,
So
well,
I mean that
tailgating and partying.
yeah, and in those days, tailgating wasn't such a big thing.
Really?
It wasn't. At least it wasn't to us because they didn't. It's Dakota Field and it was outdoors and.
God, that's crazy.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Not that we didn't
but
have fun before the game and after the game, but it was a little less of a thing.
Yeah.
Or at least we didn't know about as much. I mean, we'd go to somebody's apartment or house or.
Just turn on the TV or
We would
radio or
never,
something.
we would never, ever drink in the dorm. Never. So
Well, I think that concludes it. I think I got everything I need.
this was fun. Thank you for putting me on the list. Hopefully it helps, or
Wow.
hopefully it doesn't hurt. We'll put it that way.